Today's video will look into a scenario in which India and Pakistan go to war. What a surprise, two nations that can never get along because of British negligence drawing borders. And that's why if Europeans draw borders, don't trust it. They're just trying to create chaos. Because Europeans don't know what they're doing, and they're barely functioning themselves. Except Poland and Finland and Ireland, they're chill. And then there's Spain doing whatever the mass me. I'm kidding. Or is it? Why isn't... Nope. With India, just relaxing. Nothing on their mind. Nothing could possibly happen. Yep. Pakistan shows up. Pakistan is a thorn in your side. And it's not wrong. Pakistan is painful of a neighbor. Can't imagine how painful it'd be to be next to Pakistan. Well, then again, Pakistan has worse borders. Afghanistan? Yes, Taliban's. With a surprise attack by Pakistan launched. Because they're terrorists. No, I'm kidding. They're not. Hopefully not. They could be. With Pakistan's forces crossing into Kashmir. As they cross the border, they manage to take over this land pretty fast. And while they also launch a front out here in their surprise attack, at the same time they try to take out Delhi, they fail. And then in the south they advance. With this leading to their advance. And with Pakistan moving deeper into Indian territory. With India fully mobilizing pretty rapidly to kick these pieces of, out. And they get pushed back pretty rapidly, but they're like, okay. China not going to like this next part. With a stalemate being reached in the north. At this point, well, nothing really happens until India decides to attack the south. They attack the south to move in towards Karachi. Yeah. And then in the north, they move towards Islamabad. Well, this one is a success too. With them leading to a front like this. But some nation is not very pleased with this. They're a pretty strong nation too, so this isn't good. Not at all for you, India. Not at all. I think I also colored in Hong Kong and Macau, but Macau's a pretty great place. Or at least it's supposed to be. In the north, let Chinese troops storm into India. Even though there's mountains. Make that make sense as they move towards Delhi. Well, India's front completely collapses. Well, it may not collapse, but it's definitely pushed out, which could be collapse. Of the troops moving in here south of Delhi. With a big encirclement being made. With them also attacking over in this area. In this area. But the front becoming like this as it stalls out. But a few nations, good friends, join. Including South Korea, the Philippines, Japan. And, most important of all, America. And while one other, I didn't think of this, but Australia and the United Kingdom join too. At the same time. Australia, great place. The United Kingdom, not that great of a place. Not a surprise for the United Kingdom. And then there's America, a place that thinks they're great, but we all know they're not. They think they're the greatest nation on the earth. They're not. They're nowhere near it. But they keep dreaming, and honestly, we should let them dream. The only thing that's happy in America is guns. Let's be honest. They're the only things that are happy. Not even their government. Well, they've never been a great nation. They never will be. They're like a loser. But at least they defend all the Western world, supposedly. Well, North Korea enters because North Korea likes to do North Korea stuff. And they're not a nice country. They're a pretty mean country, if we're being honest. With them attempting to take Seoul, but this is what ends up happening. Great advance. That's the greatest advance I've ever seen. With Japanese forces and Korean forces like, nope. And then they create a secure air buffer. So let's go to the normal front. Well, Pakistan's lines start to fall. And considering Pakistan is probably most of the front, it's a big chunk of the front. At least with the Pakistan front being cut away from the Chinese front and then pushed back. Well, yeah, Pakistan gets invaded. Well, they fall. That's even worse for them and China. Well, they move in rapidly to the south, with them having a big goal to take it over. With them moving in, taking over Karachi. And at this time, they start their attack towards Islamabad. With them taking Islamabad. With this part of Pakistan falling. And then, well, before North Korea can fall, the Chinese forces are definitely pushed quite a bit back. Certainly. Because they're trying to hold northern Pakistan. But at this point, North Korea collapses. And once North Korea collapses, China ends up also, at the same time, being kicked out of northern India. With India launching a big offensive into the north. After this, they move back into their disputed lands with China. Yeah. And then they move in to take their disputed lands with Pakistan. And well, at this point, a direct attack is to happen. With on two fronts, they attack China. With China being willing to hold on for a bit. Then Taiwan joins to try to reform China. Even though China's fine, as it is. But they land, and they start moving in. They quickly take a deep patch, and China realizes they were meant to not be a dictatorship. Well, fine, they're going to be one forever. Chances are. But as the front starts collapsing, they release a pandemic. No, I'm kidding. As they move in to more of the front. With India wanting to liberate Tibet. With China failing to stop this blitz, they end up negotiating for peace at this point, legitimately. Let's see how the peace treaty goes. Not much is done. They lose the lands they occupy that should be part of India. They also lose a buffer zone, which becomes Tibet, but it's not really Tibet. It's just a buffer state called Tibet, basically. Taiwan gains a bit of land, claiming they're China again. I guess that's a good claim. South Korea annexes all of North Korea and a tiny bit of China. And then this area here becomes American. And then Pakistan becomes an Indian puppet. And well, yeah, I'm sure China isn't enjoying this with India becoming greater than them, stronger than them, better than them. And that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, and on to like, subscribe. Bye, guys!